I'm Chaotic Kenga and I make daily chaotic content. Today we're going to be reading some chaotic fan theories. Chaotic immortality. If a player dies in the real world, their chaotic Perim version lives on as a virtual ghost. However, the code masters might actively go around deleting or reformatting these ghosts to keep people from trying to use chaotic as a way to become immortal. Look closely and you'll notice that the players do age while in chaotic/Perim. The Marillions lied about possessing the Cothica. It's obvious Felfour lied about the Marillions having it. He just said that to get KO to open the doors of the deep mines. I'll bet the Cothica is actually inside Kaizef. The Codemasters aren't human. Alternatively, all the Codemasters are virtual ghosts. The whole Codemaster thing seemed to be more like a title than anything else. Codemaster Krellin is just a normal guy named Kit in real life. Actually, it was never revealed if Krellin's real self is this Kit person or if it was merely a disguise he used to give Tom some pointers without revealing himself until the time was right. There are 7 Codemasters, but they are either not human or they are probably humans with the closest connections to Perim, perhaps even those who found it in the first place and thus created Chaotic somehow as a in-between area between Earth and Perim. They run their battle drones. Their rules are absolute to the point of being able to ban players if such a measure must be taken, and even override their scanners so they cannot teleport. They have scans of creatures, battle gears, and locations that pretty much nobody else has, but as Peyton says and Tom shows, they are not unbeatable. Only one life. The limit on players that dying in game destroys your avatar forever isn't a purposeful gameplay limitation, but a side effect of the brain uploading / dimensional travel to Perim / chaotic. Only one of you can exist in either real world or Perim at any given time. Chaotic Crisis would have hit Perim as hard as Earth, especially the more compact tribes. Man, these monsters are dangerous. Let's try to make peace with them. That didn't work. You say these creatures come from a game and you can use your scanner to get to their world. Well, they do look like those creatures from the card game Chaotic now that I look. A week ago, I would have thought you were nuts. Here's the plan. We send players to nuke Perim. Danians lose their will after Mount Pillar is destroyed. The underworld receives heavy damage but isn't wiped out thanks to the no battle gear at the load-bearing pillars thing. Overworld also receives heavy damage, but not as bad as the Underworld Mepedians get off lightest because they were spread out. A couple years later, Earth is repentant about what did and try to help 3 tribes of Perim. The overworld is lawful good, Mepedians are chaotic good / neutral, Danians are lawful evil neutral, Underworlders are chaotic evil, and Marillions are neutral evil. Sure, there are episodes that actively against thinking like this, but otherwise the Underworlders are portrayed as bad guys. The Overworlders are portrayed as good. We know a little bit about Mepedians or Danians, but from what we know about Danians, they have a very strong government. For Mepedians, I'm going with the main 4 characters reflecting their tribes. Peyton is not an idiot, but when I think about it, he does remind me of Chaotic Stupid, or what Chaotic Stupid characters are supposedly going for. I think it's safe to say that this is Jost. Underworlders aren't the evil tribe. They are the ruthless tribe. They are much harsher than the other tribes and aren't that sympathetic, but to call them all evil would be pushing it. Even Chaos, one of the most feared Underworlders in Perim, in all of Perim, isn't without mercy. The evil tribe would probably be the Marillions, and even then, it was hinted at that not all Marillions were evil near the end of the 3rd season. Tangath Toborn isn't dead and he will come back. Confirmed. He showed up at the end of the last episode of Secrets of the Lost City and said he'll be back from the Spirit Lands eventually. How is anyone's guess? The Cothica is in Chaotic. How else do you think the card game got started in the show in the first place? The Cothica crossed over into our world at one point, and people who discovered it used it to create Chaotic in the space between the two worlds. It explains how a person's code can be transported to Chaotic and the scanner's power to transport codes of individuals all over Perim, and the ability to scan creatures of Perim. The Code Masters are the people who found the Cothica and are the ones who established Chaotic. That's all for today's video. I've been Chaotic Kenga. I'd love to do a part 2 to this, so if you want to leave in the comments your fan theories and your thoughts, I'd love to make a video part 2 of this with all your comments and your theories that you think are real. Yeah, have a great rest of the day, and we are Chaotic.